Edu is back on the job. Both side workers on strike. Permanent secretary bribery case. Cops still waiting for legal advice. And accident victim robbery. An insane epidemic. I am Rico Bulford and welcome to tonight's edition of Uncut News. Where are you watching from tonight? Let us know in the comments below. Fire Chief Kalamuddin Edu is back on the job, 2 weeks after he was sent on leave following the Bricktown police station fire. He was unceremoniously recalled by the Home Affairs Ministry yesterday morning. According to Gordon Mosley, Edu was supposed to be on leave for more than 3 weeks, but some government officials had objected to the punishment. The president and crew are still in Dubai, trying to sell Guyana to the highest bidder. Sorry, I meant attracting foreign investment to Guyana. Most recently, the private sector in Dubai is planning to open a Guyana trade office in Dubai, while our government will work on building a logistics hub for the UAE in Guyana to help increase trade between the Middle East and the Western Hemisphere. They have also agreed to several technical and informational sharing agreements in several arenas, especially in the areas of oil and gas, food security, climate change, the environment, and technology and infrastructure. Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar, has refused a request from China Harbour Engineering Company for an extension to April of next year. Indar said he has urged the contractor to get the job done by the current deadline of year's end, saying an extension is not up for discussion at this time. Carissa Goodings, the government project engineer overseeing the construction at CJIA, estimates that 60% of the works can be completed by the end of December. Indar will return next month to review the progress. Down in London, workers at BOSI are on strike following the protracted negotiations between the management of the company and their union. The negotiations began in April, and the workers accused the company of dragging it out far longer than it really needs to. They are also rejecting the company's offer of a 5.5% salary increase. The workers said they would prefer a long-term salary increase instead. This is the second of such protests in recent years. They last went on strike in 2019. That strike ended after the union accepted an offer of a 7% salary increase. Are you one of the chosen few that benefits from duty-free? Good for you! Check out these amazing vehicles that just arrived at Best Buy Auto Sales. This 2016 Toyota Harrier Grand Sport Edition, this 2014 Range Rover Evoque, and this 2016 Lexus RX 200T are all on sale. They are all fully loaded and come with all modern features. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peterborough Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Rico sent you to get an on a sweet deal. The PNCR Congress has been set for December 11th, with nominations for candidates set for November the 11th. Our men, Aubrey Norton and Dr. Richard Van West Charles, are confirmed to be running for the chairmanship. APNU politician Rosedale Ford is possibly running, while Volda Lawrence said she isn't sure yet. Granger is yet to announce if he would run or not, since he took his break from politics last month. Heavy showers this morning flooded several businesses in New Amsterdam today. A large rainstorm moved through the area around 11 a.m., leaving much of Pitt Street and businesses on it underwater. According to one shopkeeper, just several minutes of heavy rainfalls will fill the streets with floodwaters that usually take all day to recede. He claims that this year in particular has been difficult, as it has supposedly flooded over 14 times for the year. It's so bad you can't even buzz a leak in a drain or it will flood. I'm joking, haha! But what isn't funny is the amount of business these shop owners claim they lose on a rainy day. It's been over 2 weeks since the permanent secretary of the Amerindian Affairs Ministry was caught collecting a bribe from a contractor, and the police are still awaiting legal advice on the matter. Sharon Hicks was arrested at her office on Thursday, October 7, 2021, immediately after collecting a $200,000 bribe from a contractor in a sting operation specifically organized by the police using marked bills which the police specifically collected back from her after the deal was done. Despite the evidence against Hicks, the GPF is awaiting legal advice on the matter. Don't miss the grand 50% off sale and get a free 1-month Digital Prime bundle plan. available at City Mall, Starbucks Square, Regent and Life Street, Marcy Turkine and Marcy Providence. Shop early, limited stocks available. It's now time for today's Run Report. Today, the nation recorded 74 new cases. There are now 887 persons dead, 21 in the ICU, 3,411 in home isolation, and the total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 34,800. So please, people, wash your hands frequently, avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now for your vaccine report. To date, 73.2% of the adult population have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, whilst 45.8% received their second dose. In terms of the vaccination campaign in children, 36.6% received the first dose, whilst 23.3% received their second. And now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is sad? Not stupid, but sad. We live in a society so devoid of decency that auto accident victims are regularly robbed by the very onlookers that should be helping. Accident after accident, the story is the same. People approach as if they are going to render assistance, only to steal the victim's wallet, home, or jewelry and run away, not caring whether the person lives or dies. It's become so common, the police had to recently speak on a video of such an incident that went viral on Facebook. The police called it distasteful, but I call it inhuman and animal-like behavior. I'd expect a predator in the wild to attack injured prey, not people. It is a scary reflection of the dog-eat-dog society those with political, social, and financial power in this nation allowed to happen. Through decades of neglect, the higher-ups created a society where anything goes as long as you have the money, which in turn creates this almost scavenger-like mentality in the people on the lowest levels of society, those who are unfortunately exposed to the most violence from the system. But what the politicians seem to not care about is that most people don't even actually leave Guyana for the money alone. They leave for things like this. They leave because of the quality of life. Money is merely a means to obtain it. People want an orderly, just, and fair society, or at least the appearance of it. They don't want to live in a place where they know they can get robbed during a medical emergency. It doesn't matter how much money you get flowing through Guyana, people will not want to stay if they have to continuously live in fear. Fear of the criminals, fear of the police, fear of the politicians and their well-connected friends and family. But what scares me even more is that this is not a new development. Accident victim robbery has been an open secret in this country for years, but all I can assume is that once the divide between rich and poor widens even further once the oil money really starts flowing, the criminal schemes in this country will only get worse.
Boom! My name is Mudwater from Guyana Uncut. I have a big truck. Note, I didn't say I have the big truck. I have a big truck. When I need affordable parts for my truck, I only go to one place. Powered Automotive Truck Spares and Engine Parts. They stock parts for DAF, Freightliner, International, and Mack trucks. Also, all genuine Cummins engine spares. They're also the authorized dealer in Guyana for Hammer parts. And as a wise man once said, don't DPS. Get your engine parts from Patsep. Call 697-0171 for inquiries and tell them Mudwater send you. Boom out!
Moving on to our Uncut News Views poll question of the day. Every day we pose the question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So you give your responses in the comments and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, the police say crime is down. How do you feel about that? Angie the Atheist says, first of all, it is alleged that some of the crimes that are reported to the police force are not published in their reports to the media. Yes, that's absolutely true. Also, a large number of crimes are not reported. That's also extremely true. Now, 13 and 17-year-old children were caught by the police in a robbery in Linden. A 17-year-old from my neighborhood got caught in the gold dealer robbery on Regent Street and the murder robbery with the 24-year-old. All of them were youths, and all happened in less than a week. Now, I will say this to the Guyana police force. You don't have to tell us the truth, but don't look us in our faces and lie to us. It's best to keep quiet. Yes, I agree with you fully. And as a journalist, literally the person that has to listen to the police lie to their face, it's really an assault to my intelligence. I hate it. So for tonight's question, do you think the fire chief should be back on the job? Why or why not? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.